If you're tired of the standard business and marketing fundamentals, frameworks, and funnels, you need a little mischief. Get ready to turn up the volume on the CEO Mischief Maker podcast, where you access conversations with seasoned business owners who have smashed through mindset barriers, innovated the standard boring business and marketing playbooks, and executed future-paced strategies with bleeding-edge tools and tactics to micro-fail their way into massive success and growth. We are Mindset Impact Strategic Catalysts helping innovative entrepreneurs focus. We are CEO Mischief Makers. Ready to make a little mischief? Okay, it's my favorite day of the week. Not because it's Friday and the end of the week at all. I love my time. I love what I do, but it's because we get to talk about my favorite subject. I love strategy and tactics. I live there. I love it. So welcome back with my guest, Trey J and I. Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
And we get to, okay, if you have not listened to Monday and Wednesday, you got to go back because this has just culminated into what we're going to talk about now. We've talked about, actually, JaMarr, you talked about quite a few frameworks in our last conversation. Now let's dive into your favorite strategies and tactics for then getting things done, for then actually moving the needle, so to speak, or really, I think specifically, your super connecting. Tell me more about your strategy for your business.
Sure. So Super Connecting is a book that I'm finishing up right here at the moment, and is the art and science of creating meaningful relationships in a digital age. So that's the subtitle of the book. I actually have a course on LinkedIn. If you have LinkedIn Learning, it's completely free. Look up Super Connecting, and it'll say professional networking. So in there, there's about a 55-minute masterclass where I show people how I go about super connecting. Now, here's a specific strategy. So for me, right, as an agency owner, as a consultant, as an affiliate marketer, I'm always looking for brands that I like, that I do business with, that I want to work with. So typically what I do first is I buy their product. I buy their product so I can try their product and see how I like it for myself, get my own personal experience with it. Now, what that does is that when I go to reach out to the person at the company that I want to try to do business with, I'm coming with them as a customer. So there's appreciation built into that connection. I come to them with a personal experience, and then I come to them with an understanding of how I could potentially help bring additional value to what it is that they're already doing. And the way that I do that is I turn my camera on, make sure the sound is great, and I present to them typically a 3 to 5 minute video, introducing myself, telling them the reason why I'm reaching out to them, and asking them if we can set up some time to have a brief virtual coffee so that I can go over some of the ways that I can bring value to what they're doing. The overwhelming response. So first of all, when you look at, sending cold emails or cold calling someone, the overwhelming response is people are blown away that I took the time. Now, in reality, it might have taken me a total of 10 minutes to do that outreach attempt, right? Because I'm not going through and doing a bunch of research on their website, and I purchased their product, I had an experience with it. So that's inside me. When you have an experience, you don't have to remember the experience. It's in you, it's cellular, right?
Right.
So when I make that video, and mind you, I try to be as authentic as I possibly can. So I'm not doing the video, 10 times trying to perfect it. I want to make an authentic video. If there's any little mistakes, I keep them. So I'm like one take Drake when it comes to making those. But that's also because in the past decade, I've done over 10,000 videos on my phone. So whether they be Instagram videos or YouTube videos or Facebook videos, I've done over 10,000 videos and they're on my phone. So I've got the experience that I know how I can just get this message across. And so the simple framework that I use is you want to tell people the who, what, when, where, why, and how you can help them. That's really the simplest way to go about it, right? And 3 to 5 minutes, the overwhelming response is blown away. Would love to have a conversation, right? Because when you take that sort of effort to reach out to people, you completely set yourself apart from everyone else, who mostly of which are just sending copy and paste messages to people.
Yeah.
And so people, when they are really appreciated, when you show true appreciation and interest in what they have to offer, they cannot resist just at least giving you a meeting.
Yeah.
And at that point, hopefully you've got some creative ideas that you can bring to the table that they maybe haven't heard of before, or even in the past. For example, I've got a company that I just did this with recently. And what I first did was I went and found the contact data of the person in the company that I thought would be the best person for me to reach out to. When I called that number, it was actually the CEO's cell phone number. And, within maybe a minute or two, he asked me, well, how did you get my number? Right? People, when you call someone, they're going to ask you how you get the number. And so I said, well, I'm a digital marketing ninja, and I have all sorts of tools that allow me to get to whoever I'm trying to get to. And they just respect that because they know that, hey, okay, this person is running a business and they invest in themselves to a degree that they can get accurate data to reach who they need to reach. So there's a level of like respect.
Yeah.
But also, he had been running this company for nearly 8 years and probably hasn't received a direct cold call in probably 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So already I'm setting myself apart because he doesn't get calls like that anymore. So he gave me the person within the department that I needed to reach out to, gave me her email. And so what I did was I then created the video to introduce myself to that person, knowing that she would also share it back with him. So I referenced our phone call, I referenced my experience, I referenced my military background. I mentioned that I've been running my agency for almost a decade. And I just really highlighted some points that I loved their product and wanted to see how. I had a couple of ideas, but obviously depending on what they're open to. And that led to a meeting a week later with the CEO and the COO. And so obviously this is just recently. So right going into the 4th of July weekend, they were going to be in Nashville. They're based in Texas, but they said as soon as they get back in town, we've got to have a follow-up meeting so we can get started as soon as possible. And the biggest thing that when you do those types of things is people start to know, like, and trust you a whole lot faster because they're seeing you, they're hearing the power of your voice, and then they're actually feeling the impact of the words and the knowledge that you possess when you speak to people on camera.
So that's a strategy, and it's a absolutely personalized, non-scalable, incredibly focused strategy to get in touch with the businesses and the leaders of those businesses, the decision makers and stakeholders of those businesses from products or services that you have experienced.
Yes.
The people in the Bot Academy Mastery listening to my voice right now, that is exactly what I'm talking about when I say you want to stay with what you know. When you're trying to build your own business, you're trying to serve customers, serve those you know. And if you have actually purchased a product, experienced that product, you know that product. And you take your previous experience of marketing and business and especially automation, and you attach that to what you know of that product. And when those light bulbs start going on in your head going, oh, we could do this, I could do this for them, or I could do that for them. That's what Trey J just talked about. Use that knowledge, use that experience, and go after it. Don't be afraid. What's the worst they're going to do? Hang up the phone on you. That's it. They're not going to kill you. They're not going to call you names. They don't know where you live. They don't know, none of that's going to happen that you think is going to happen in your head. None of those terrible things. They might just hang up on you. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. It says nothing about you. They don't know you at all. Do it. Do what he just said. So now, okay, JaMarr, now take me through. You have that strategy. How are you now automating that? Or what are you doing to actually be able to, not maybe just that, but something else in your business? How are you tactically replicating that?
Yeah. So from an automated standpoint, there is something that I can do. So when I send that initial video, right, that non-scalable personalized video, I use a software tool that creates a unique landing page link. So I actually see every time they look at it. And so I know when to follow up. Now, I also have some that are made that are general, that help me in my speaking business, that are introductions to who I am, that are examples of my work on a trackable landing page that I can set up as a campaign. So when I post videos on social media, now that link is driving traffic to a capture page if I decide, and I'm sending that potentially to a mass amount of clients via email, because I can get content, get data to potential clients and reach out and say, hey, just would love to make an introduction to you and find out if there's anything in the next quarter or two that I could come either speak or be a trainer for your company. And so at that point, now I'm leveraging that landing page technology. I'm leveraging those videos to reach out to multiple people just to start an initial conversation. And so that would be a way that I would take that same process, but send it to a mass amount of people and scale it.
All right. What's the technology? You got to share now.
Well, the technology, if you go to my website, IamJaMarr.com/shuffle, I'll have a link there for you to check it out. And I've been using that technology since 2017. The super inexpensive landing page tracking tool that also has a database built inside of it. And it normally goes for about $29 a month, but you can actually get it for $20 a month with my affiliate code.
And spell out your website again. I am JaMarr.
IamJaMarr.com/shuffle.
Shuffle. Got it. Yay. All right. So that is an incredible tool to be able to take a very personalized conversation, a very personal look at your life, look into the videos that you create, and actually automate the ability to track whoever might watch that, and then reach out to whomever might watch that because you now have collected their email address as well.
Yep.
Wow. What other types of strategies and tactics do you use in your business in marketing and especially with automation, since we both love automation?
Well, I mean, anytime you make a video, anytime you appear in a podcast, the idea of what I like to do is use the power of my voice as much as possible and personalize. So for me, because I run an agency and I'm a consultant, I am looking for bigger type clients. So it's worth it to me to spend 15, 30 seconds of using my own voice and then maybe pasting in a link to a podcast, for example, that I've appeared on, especially one where I'm breaking down some of my marketing philosophies, for example. So on Instagram, for example, there's unlimited leads. So if you know the type of niches that you want to work on, you can search those hashtags, find those companies. You can comment on a recent post, then slide into their DM, leave a short 10-second voice note, and then drop a link to some of your content where you're educating them. And in that initial voice note, that 10-second voice note, you say, hey, my name is JaMarr. I run an agency called Upmind Media, and I would love to help your company in any way possible generate more leads for your business. If you're interested in having a call, I'll put a link below where you can actually check out a podcast episode of mine. And if you're interested, you can book some time on my calendar with the link in that link below. So something that quick, but then leveraging a landing page, leveraging a scheduling tool all in one would be the way that I would go to prospect when I want to add a couple more clients to my agency.
Wow. So these are, and of course, we all know, being chatbot builders, if you understand how Facebook Messenger works and Instagram DMs work, you can actually even connect an Instagram DM when they respond back to your DM. You can then connect an automation to that and tell them specifically to respond, with calendar and or respond with podcast. And with that word podcast, you can now create an automation to send them that podcast link through their DMs.
Exactly.
And now capture them as a subscriber in your bot. Many ways.
But even before that, though, think about giving them that call to action and having them do it. There's a wow factor. You capture their imagination of the possibilities for what you can do for them.
That's right.
By using those little triggers. It creates like magic. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Because I know he's like, I'm looking at this at 2 a.m. He's not awake, but it's still working.
This got, exactly. And not only that, I love what you're talking about, where you don't just automatically send some salesy DM. You've actually engaged with their content. You've actually liked their posts, commented on posts. We don't just take and at least I don't, and I know you don't. We don't just look at these companies or these accounts as potential sales. These are relationships. And if you go back to the last conversation that we had and you really look at super connecting, these are going to develop into potentially future incredible relationships. So treat it as such. Don't treat it as just a way to make money. Treat it as a relationship, a potential relationship. And this is what JaMarr's talking about. It's so, it just takes it adds a different dimension. And you and I both know, we, I'm sure, get many sales messages and DMs on a regular basis. And the ones that stand out are the ones that are personalized, like you've talked about, the ones that are just canned, hey, I'd love to build a website for you. Yeah, completely delete, immediately delete. And I get them on everywhere, on every platform, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, in my email, I even get, obviously, text messages, same situation, deleting them all, unless there's something that shows that they are investing in me, not just asking me to invest in them with my money. That's the difference, right?
It is.
Wow. All right. So we have talked about some pretty, I love that. I cannot wait to check out Shuffle. I really cannot. I didn't know about that. I had not seen it. I can't wait. How has that impacted your business?
So I literally, for every non-scalable one-to-one connection that I've made that has brought me hundreds of thousands of dollars has been a function of using that tool. And it's a tool that has an affiliate program, but I don't spend a ton of time promoting it as a tool to other people, unless I'm coaching them. They're in my, I'm giving them a suite of things. But it's so powerful at such a low price point. I think sometimes people don't realize how impactful it could be. So I've actually taken Shuffle and integrated them into clients' entire business processes to the point of, imagine taking a company that has 3,000 reps and the company deciding that every rep gets their own Shuffle account that the company pays for, because it's that powerful and because they can track those numbers. The ability to see when someone is looking at your content. Here's another little magic trick that it does. Someone looks at your content, you get the alert, drop down alert on your phone. You wait 5-10 minutes. You send them a text. Hey, Tony, how's your week flowing? Tony goes, oh, it's going great. You know what? I was just thinking about you. Oh, really? What were you thinking about? Oh, and this and that. And guess what you did? You've now created more connection. So that's a little, and again, for me, because the potential account sizes are big enough for me, it's worth having that personal connection. Now, I can also use Shuffle in the sense of creating simple landing pages that have capture pages attached to them. And so random traffic can drive there. But, when people are looking for services, you want to be able to capture them. Otherwise, there's no way to follow up. So if you just have a website there and people go to it, if you don't have cookies and you can't retarget them, if you don't have any kind of capture mechanism, then you can't capture them. So basically all of those views are for naught because there's no way to follow up with them. So it's a pretty cool system that's always evolving. They probably have 150, 180,000 affiliates using the service, using the tool. And it's a powerful tool. It's simple to use. They do networking meetings every single week. They do trainings every single week. And that's all for free for $20 a month. Wow. So the power of that, the power of expanding your network weekly. I mean, every single day I get a new connection on that application because it also has its own internal network. So when Facebook and Instagram went down, I don't know if you guys remember that. It was about a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
Services went down for a day, you can still message all of your entire network that is connected to you on the Shuffle account. So
Wow.
pretty powerful tool.
Wow.
Super connecting.
And yes, for super connecting. And I also love how since if you're available at the time when you get that notification that someone's viewed your page, you are right then top of mind. Right then, if you are responding then instead of waiting 3 days and they're on, remember, everybody's in their own orbit, their own world, they're on with their own lives and the things that are happening in their lives. It's going to be harder for them to remember that thing that they saw 3 days ago, a week ago. If you respond right away, you're top of mind. And that just keeps that, again, little deposits in their relationship account. That is so amazing. All right. So JaMarr, we do have to end this conversation. I absolutely hate to. But any last thoughts on everything we've talked about, from mindset to impact and innovation, and now strategy and tactics, that you would like to leave those amazing souls out there listening to our voices and watching us on this video? Any other last words or thoughts?
Sure. The last words I'd love to leave you with is that none of this matters that we talked about on these last 3 episodes if you, listening to this episode, don't understand your purpose here on this earth. So one of the exercises that I encourage you to do is to figure out, tap into God, tap into the universe, and write down the purpose of your life. I did that in 2014 while crushing it in sales at a job, but not feeling fulfilled because I knew there was something missing. There was something more. And so the purpose of my life is to bring joy, pleasure, and happiness to all those around me, to learn daily, achieve greatly, and always follow my divine creativity so that one day I could say I've helped as many people as humanly possible live a life of their own design so that they may bring their gifts and their talents onto the world. And knowing that purpose has fueled me in such a way that I can't even describe, but anytime I'm down, I reflect on my purpose and I come right back up to that equilibrium point, because the new ABCs of selling aren't always be closing. They're attuity. How attuned are you to your customer? How buoyant, how emotionally buoyant are you to everything that happens all around you? You want to be like in the eye of the storm. And C is, how clear are you on what it is you're doing and why you're doing it? And if you have those things at the present, your presence in the present is the present or the gift.
Okay, hold on. If your mindset was shifted, you were inspired to innovate, and you were spurred into action, don't just move on with your day. Focus, my friend, and take a few minutes to visit CEOmischiefmaker.com to learn more about the value that was shared with you today. Please act now and create some CEO mischief of your own.